What's up, guys? It's Matt with Mojo Racing, and today we're going to go desert racing. Vegas to Reno. Alright guys, we're out here at the 2022 Vegas to Reno race to support handsome Jay Callaway, the man himself. We're going to be chasing the race, running one of the pit trucks.
Hey guys!
So follow along, this will be a pretty fun video. So kind of chasing the race, being the support at the pits, we were throwing ice in their coolers. They had the suit coolers, each driver and co-driver, so Jay and Josh both had a kind of a vest under the race suit that was circulating cold water through. There was a tank kind of behind each of their seats that we would just pack full of ice at every pit, and by the time they got to the next pit, usually it was melted and already warm, where those were just kind of sitting up there next to the radiator over the engine. But during the day, I mean, it was 100 degrees probably out there in the sun. So in the race car, it had to be, I don't know, well into the hundreds. I know when I co-drove for him, it was like October, and you couldn't touch anything in that cockpit. It was so hot from sitting just right over the transmission radiator behind your head. But pack them full of ice. We'd give the steering a look, grease the rack at one of the pits, check all the suspension bolts, make sure the torque marks were good. Nothing was coming loose. It was a intense thing every pit. I mean, they'd pull in and stop, and if we took 3 minutes, that seemed to be a long pit. I mean, they were in and out. We were running pretty good to have never practiced anything other than, the first time we got to pit. That was our first attempt at doing any of this, and we got it down pretty quick. All right, we're out here at pit 5, just got done. Car's about to go back out on course, and we're going to be chasing from here on out. I think for me, kind of the coolest moment of the day was that pit. I don't know, maybe I think it was like 7 or 9. I don't remember, but it was this little town called Gabs, and the whole town was just like all about the race. Cars came right through the middle of town on the streets. There was a little bar there. They had like barbecue going on and beers and music, and it was just a party. We got into that pit, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes ahead of Jay, so we had a chance to kind of take a break, grab a beer, eat some dinner. They came through right about the time the first UTVs got there, and we got them, packed full of ice, looked over the car and sent them out, and then we raced on to the next pit, which was 12, which was right before the finish line, essentially. And we, on time, the car should have beat us there by about 5-10 minutes, so we were just hauling it as quick as we could out of Gabs to get to that final pit and be there for them before the push to the finish line. So the spare tire story is pretty funny now, but at the moment it was a little scary. We had a Jeep Compass for our rental car, and it turns out you can't fit a 40 in the back of a Jeep Compass. So we ratchet strapped it to the roof, and it rode there all day long. Never needed it, thank goodness. Finished the race on the tires we started with, but coming into the final pit of the day, it was the first pit that was kind of removed from the road for us. Turned off the highway onto a dirt road that ended up turning into a silt bed. So we were, I was trying to keep the momentum going. I didn't want to get bogged down in the silt. I could see the support trucks kind of parked off as maybe, I don't know, a half a mile maybe off the highway, but I could see them out there in the distance where everyone was pitted. So we were kind of trucking along this little silty road, and next thing I know, a UTV blows past us, heading in the opposite direction, but full race pace, lights on. I could see the ambers and the blues flashing in the rear, and covered in dust, couldn't see past the hood of the car. And immediately I thought, oh man, we're wrong direction on race course. Which is not where I wanted to be with a 10,000 pound truck coming at me at 100 plus miles an hour. So I said, hold on, we're getting off the road. So immediately, probably gave it gas, didn't slow down at all, but hooked a hard right, jumped the little berm there on the side of the road, sent this little Jeep Compass sailing through the air, I'm sure. Landed, 40 comes off the roof, rips the mirror off the driver's side of the car. We get off the road and stopped a pretty good ways off, and take kind of stock of everything going on, make sure everyone's okay, get out, grab the spare. Turns out the UTV blew the turn coming into the pit and just, thankfully missed us head on, but we weren't on race course, which is great. Thankfully nothing worse happened, but like I say, it's a funny story looking back, but scary at the moment. Yeah, so we made it to the finish line. I believe it was 9 something at night, 9:30, 10 o'clock, somewhere in there. I don't really remember. It was a long day because we got up in Vegas about 5 o'clock in the morning, drove the 2 hours out to Beatty at the start line, chased the race all day to the finish line, and then had another, hour to drive up to Reno to get to bed. I want to say we were up almost 24 hours by the time we got to bed in Reno, but great time, great race. Huge congrats to Jay. I know this was a bucket list thing for him. They had a great time. If you don't follow him on YouTube and social media, definitely go do that. He's been throwing up awesome content ever since the race and even out there during. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. Stay tuned next week and you'll get to see how to turn a perfectly good race car into a pile of parts with just a set of hand tools. Later.